leading a state that recently faced the submergence of one of its most important cities is certainly challenging in every sense of the word, and speaks volume about the resilience of the man at the helm of affairs. With the Shiroro mine episode and his bid to clamp down on illegal miners, plus the Bago radio revocation, these ill winds are enough tragic force to consume the faint-hearted. But the governor of Niger State, Muhammed Bago, has remained undeterred in his bid to engineer growth and restoration in the state. With 16.7 billion naira released by the federal government for the reconstruction of the Moko Bridge, how far has this gone to bring succor to the people of the state, most particularly, and to forestall a recurrence of flooding in the state? All right, I have joining me the governor of Niger State, Muhammed Bago, who has declared himself the DG of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's 2027 campaign with Niger State as the headquarters. He joins me now on Arise Prime Time. Glad to have you join us on Arise Prime Time.
Thank you, Andy.
Once you start with commiserations with the event of Mokwa, it's never a palatable experience, one commiserate with you and the state of Niger State. But let's talk about Baro Port. Commissioned in 2019 under the past administration, the port has faced what the minister called operational challenges or constraints. You want to talk about that? Tell us about the constraints.
Thank you very much for having me this evening. The Baro Port is the only inland port that lays to the north of Nigeria.
Okay.
It's a colonial port. However, in the past, governments have tried to fix it, but it's faced with a lot of siltation, and the challenge we're having is we need serious federal attention to that port. That port is going to save our roads, it's going to bring economic resources to the north, it's going to be a hub for the entirety of the north, So Baro Port is central to Nigerians, inland waterways. It's very, very important. And just yesterday, we received a committee of the House of Representatives, led by former Deputy Speaker Wase and my honorable member, Saidu Musa, and their team. They came on a fact-finding mission to the Baro, and they were received very well, and they saw for themselves. And this has the capacity, to transform, the economy, the blue economy of the north, and that is what we are already working on. So we're working with the federal government to see, in a way, how the private sector and the public sector will work together to revamp, and rebuild that port, for posterity.
Yeah, just like you said, the committee promised to get to your state, and they eventually did, and then paid you a visit. But what they said is quite poignant. They said that what they saw on ground was a commissioning done on paper. What were they practically trying to say?
Yeah, during the last administration of the late president, there was an attempt by the former government, to launch the Baro Port. But the port itself was commissioned, but the waterways were not done. So what they are referring to was that there is need for an emergency intervention in dredging and bank protection of that port, so that batches can come in from the sea into the river.
Yeah, again, you've mentioned the question of dredging. I know that the minister, former governor of Osun State, Oyetola, he identifies certain challenges: funding, continuous dredging of River Niger, road and rail links to facilitate what they call transparent governance systems and credible private sector participation. How are all these that he has mentioned? I will talk about the DG of Niwa, or Yabamiji, what he said, but how are all these playing out on ground now in your state?
Okay, so look at this scenario. Once the federal government conceives to what we are trying to do, we have redesigned and planned Baro as a city that's going to be like an annex city to Abuja FCT, and it's going to be a port city. We have over 740,000 plots of land.
There.
Yeah, there. So it's something that can have spontaneous financing, You know, once you approve that, private sector is going to come in. You know, once the plan is approved, once federal government is ready to concession the port to private sector, you know, we can have a lot of private initiatives to let this work. So what we are talking about is that for federal government to look at what we are doing as a state, for us to have like a partnership where we'll bring the private sector to drive this initiative. Yes, federal government doesn't have the resources, but federal government can give sovereign guarantee for this kind of project, which is very, very important.
What is stopping the concession?
The process is long, bureaucracy, but we've gone to the second step, is an ICRC, and they are working on it.
Okay, so they're working on it. Any idea of when this is going to happen?
Soon.
Soon.
The president is determined about it. The president is very, very determined about
it. All right. Has the National Inland Waterways, by these I mean newer, began the dredging? They talked about dredging of 2,000 kilometers of inland waterways. Have they begun it as yet?
They can't start right now. There are a lot of conditions that are precedent, you know, for dredging to start. You know, and one of those things is the private sector involvement.
Okay.
You know, and again, the beauty about the River Niger, it has a lot of silica. You know, silica is the mineral, the sand that used to make glasses. You know, so we can produce solar cells, we can do glasses, we can do light, fiber glasses, everything. So, you know, we need a lot of consortium, you know, of people who are in this production to understand that, okay, you can use the silica here. Because once you dredge, what do you do with the sand? People need to do that, you know. And the Lagos-Calabar highway needs a lot of sand. The Sokoto-Badagry highway needs also sand. So all these they have to do is an ecosystem that you must key in. You must understand it, you know, from first to end. It's very important to understand that. So
there is this question of, well, roads basically, one of the obstacles, and the question of gridlock in Bida caused by trailers. What are you doing about it?
You know, we've done a lot of statistics, and we want the system to understand that Niger State is suffering a lot from gridlock of trucks. There is about 3 million truckler movement every month.
3 million?
3 million through Niger State. Because the Mokwa-Birnugwari road is cut off, it's bad. You know, though the Minister of Works spoke about it, Aliko Dangote has shown interest in doing the Jaba-Makwa-Lambata road. So with this initiative, it's going to cut down. However, as a state, what we have done, we are building a ring road, you know, to cut off Bida, you know. But this is a state initiative, so we're going to toll it, you know.
Oh, okay.
We're going to toll it. So when we toll it, when we finish it, we're going to toll it. Once we toll it, the money from the toll will pay for, you know, the road.
The road. I hope it will not be too much on the people. No,
it can't be too much on the people. You know, but it's for prosperity.
Well, a good thing in the right direction. I mean, talking about the fact that you're trying to get the road working so that it will help transportation and that Baro area. Before we, okay, maybe we should just before we get into agriculture, which I learn is a revolution you're carrying out with LAMP and the rest of it, which you would explain. But where are we at on the Mokwa thing? I mean, many lives were lost, about 500 lives at the 4,000 homes, displaced 600, missing. That's quite a lot. That's quite a lot you're having to deal with, you know, as a governor. How have you been able to cope with it? How have you resettled people? How have you, you know, resettling and getting the people back on track? Because Niger State is basically a farming, you know, state. So what have you been able to do?
Okay, so you need to understand how Niger State is provided. We're a riverine state. On the left and the right of Niger State, the two flanks of Niger State, they are all rivers. One river Kaduna, one river Niger. And we have 4 hydropower dams. You know, we have the Kainji, the Jaba, the Zingero, and the Shiroro. So in this season, usually our people don't farm during rainy season.
Okay.
Down Niger because of flooding. Now, we've been hit by an unprecedented flood.
So bad.
Yeah, and a lot of lives were lost. We thank the federal government, the president and his response. The VP was there. A lot of people have come in. We thank Nigerians for their responses. But what we've come to understand is that we cannot continue to put people in IDP camps. So what we have done an enumeration of people who have been affected.
Yeah.
We have been able to compensate them with cash benefits, with food items, with materials for them to resettle, while the federal government and the state government is trying to build them permanent residences somewhere. So right now, there is nobody that is living in the IDP camp. People have been given money, they've gone to settle. And incidentally,
oh really?
80% of the people who was hit in that area are not even Nigerites. They are from outside the north, coming from, from the far north. Basically why they are there, over the time when these dams are being constructed, there was siltation. When you want to dam a hydro dam, you block water flow, so a lot of siltation happened. Over time, people thought that was just like a place for them to build, because they do a lot of dry season farming around there. There's so much water there. And this time around, the water was so strong and it blew up, the bridge. And we want to thank the president. The president has been magnanimous to Niger State. He gave us about 16 billion naira now to build that, that thing. They gave us 2 billion naira, to do that. They gave us food. They gave us a lot of things. So we can say more than thank you, Mr. President. You understand? And this is it's unprecedented.
Did that go far enough?
Yeah. It's gone very far. It's gone very, very far. In fact, it has given us, another form of reasoning, to even dismantle other IDP camps we have who have been affected by these natural disasters in other local governments, who have been affected by banditry and other vices. Right now we're settling them to go and leave the camps and go and settle down, give them some startup capitals and teach them some trade, and they've moved on.
The question of, this is always on my mind. Anytime we talk about flooding, you'll always hear authorities say, relocate. Flood alert has been given. You'll always hear authorities say, relocate. The question I always ask, relocate to where?
To the highlands.
No, what I'm saying is, do you have places where people can be moved into, meanwhile, before you walk out?
If you had me rightly, I said we're, as a state, we don't even farm during rainy season.
Yeah, that's one.
In some plains, because they get flooded. So, and these people live on the high side, on the hillside, the upper Niger. But in the lower Niger, you have a lot of flood. So the advocacy by government is, okay, go back to the highlands, let the water pass, because they will not even want to transition or leave that area because they think it's a birthright. So what we have done in some places with hyperdeck, we have built some accommodation for a lot of them. But you see, our people are kind of difficult because they are fishermen. They are, how they are farmers. So they want to be by the river.
They've been there quite a long time.
They've been there for a long time. So what we do, the advocacy is that move temporarily for 6 months.
Okay.
6 months in, 6 months out. And even their schools, their syllabuses are different. They don't do the normal curriculum everybody does, because during the dry season, they won't be in school. Yeah. So use the wet season now to put them in school. And this is how we've been able to do it.
Okay, let's discuss Shiroro a little bit, then we'll come back to your agriculture revolution. That's what you call it. Now, locals are saying that government negligence has paved the way for the thriving terror groups there. Why has government left locals at the mercy of terrorist groups? In fact, I heard that the security agencies, particularly the army, had to move out. Make sense of this.
Okay, Niger State is 11% of Nigeria in terms of size, 11%. It has a lot of forest reserves. It has lots of ungoverned spaces over the years. And these miscreants have emboldened. They are very, very emboldened. So they found themselves safe havens where they've hidden for a long time. They've built capacities, and the government of today has been working assiduously, to degrade these people. We've achieved a lot, significantly. People have gone back to their respective homes. There is no place that is governed by any terrorist group anymore in Niger State. The Shiroro local government, we just had an election. The local government after Shiroro called Munya, when APC swept 100%. And everybody's back there. We have built roads there. We are doing a lot of bridges there. People are living their normal lives. But over the time, people have been hit badly. They've been hit badly. Right now, the UNDP and Niger State government, UNDP is building about 150 houses, Niger State building about 200 houses to resettle these people. And we've gone very far in this, you know, to resettle people. So life is back. People are back to their lives. So do not listen to people who say that those places are ungoverned. However, the activities of illegal miners has been an issue. You know, degrading of the land and so many other vices is happening. But with the Ministry of Mineral Resources, with the federal government of Nigeria and the state government, we are working for a responsible mining regime, you know, where miners will understand what is called responsible mining. And we've gone very far in that, and a lot of advocacy, education has gone into it. You know, Niger State has a lot of minerals. We have the largest deposit of lithium. We have the largest deposit of gold.
Like so you people have the same.
Nasarawa is just 5% of our state.
You have
everything, everything. We have hydrocarbon. We have gas. We have petroleum. We have gold. We have diamonds. You know. We have everything. Niger State's got everything. So the activities of these illegal miners are responsible for all this crisis. However, you know, a lot of initiative is happening, a lot of efforts happening. The government at the center, the federal government is working very well. The security agencies are doing very fantastic.
4 miners lost their lives in the King Dolly area. The same company was involved, of course I can't mention the name, in an earlier incident that took about 8 lives. What actions has the government taken so far since these 2
They've been banned.
Incidents?
They've been banned from mining. The Federal Ministry of Mineral Resources and Niger State government is also, you know, working on it. They can't mine again. We have been able to get some assistance from federal government and the state government to assist the families of those that lost their lives. And also, we have now been able to re-register every other mining company that is in Niger State. You know, we have another register of all mining companies that are legally permitted to do. And we have done some kind of research and assessment on what they do. And I don't know what they call it in geography. I think it's a survey of the land, you know, for what they can do. The kind of things
geologists will understand.
Yeah, they understand that. So we've done that. So we have now, you know, on our palm, the location of every mining company. We geolocate them. We know where they are, what they are doing, and when they are doing it.
It will be interesting to know, because what I have is that the mining site, that particular one, was closed down by the government after all these incidents I painted. But then operations resumed without authorization. Is that what is going on?
Not by the company. You know, because they've done a lot of blasting and a lot of this, so artisanal miners will just go there and pick, you know, from the rubbles. But not, the company is not resumed.
But activities, mining activities are still banned there.
They are banned completely.
They're banned
completely.
When is it likely to pick up?
Because we are working with the federal government and the security agencies on the security of that area, because that place used to be worse hit by terrorist groups.
Yeah.
You know, and now that there is calm and people are living, you know, in harmony, we have a lot of renal failures, a lot of lead poisoning, and so many other things. So the advocacy is there. We have banned it unless, of course, we have investment that will come and do a responsible mining regime.
All right. Let's talk about your agriculture revolution. I'm sure you'll be much interested in that. I mean, your state is big on agriculture. About 80% rely on farming and infrastructure. Let's get a brief on what you call LAMP. I like that word. I mean, LAMP is light. Light should give light to the people. Livestock and Agriculture Modernization Project. Speak to us about that.
Okay,
LAMP.
so when you talk about LAMP, you know, Niger State, we have provided ourselves as a lead state, you know, to anchor agriculture. Looking at our land size, looking at our water resources, we know that what we can do with agriculture, you know, it's not something that you can undermine. So livestock, again, we don't have tsetse fly, so it's easy for you to have grazing reserves for cattle to, you know, thrive, livestock to thrive. Where crop production, because of our size of land and water, you can farm all year round. You know, in agriculture, you don't need too much of manure or fertilizer. The lands are fertile, and our people naturally, you know, are agrarian. Niger State, for example, is the global headquarters of share.
Of
We
what?
have the largest
Oh,
share nuts in the world.
Okay.
Niger State. And this share, they are not planted by anybody. They are wild. So if
It's just natural.
Natural. And 60% of the global share comes from Niger State.
Of Africa or global?
Global, world. So if you put small effort and are deliberate about planting share, you can imagine what you can be.
So are we doing that? Is your government?
That's what we're doing. We just commissioned the largest share production factory in Niger State last 2 weeks. In Mokwa. Mokwa is blessed with both water and disaster. But Mokwa is a plain because it's at the edge of Niger. So it's a plain at the edge of Niger. After the valley of Niger, you have Mokwa. So Mokwa is huge. It has a lot of land resources and water resources. So a lot of agricultural initiatives happen there.
Yeah. Now, you say you are the DG. Let's talk a little bit of politics. You're the DG of the President's Campaign 2027, headquartered in Niger State. Well, in spite of the hardship in the land, there is a high cost of living. You can't take it away from APC. 12 of the 16 states, particularly your state, where I heard that elections were there was impressive voter turnout in your state of Niger. In some other places, I heard that the turnout was not quite encouraging. What brought about this impressive voter turnout in Niger State?
Okay, the people are happy with the government. There is no hardship in Niger State. What used to be the price of food? What is the price of food today? So significantly, people just say that because we are not talking. And that's why I have taken the responsibility.
I go to the market.
No, to drive.
I go to the market.
Yes. How much is a bag of rice today?
Oh, it's still expensive.
It's not expensive.
It is.
How much is minimum wage? We've doubled your minimum wage. Triple.
Relative.
Minimum wage used to be 30,000. Now it's 80,000.
It's 70.
No, in Niger State it's 80,000. This is how we're paying.
You made it 80,000.
But state and local government, yes. So we've done a lot. The reform of the president, my father, Aswaju is my father, and I'm proud to say it everywhere. But I will tell you, I have taken it as a responsibility to become the Director General of the Aswaju campaign for 2027. And that is why the turnout of voters for the by-election was massive.
It was.
People are happy. We've built their roads, they are secured, nobody terrorizes them again, and they're happy. And this place used to be, governed by terrorists, but now we are peacefully living. The people are excited. They've gone back to their farms, production has increased, they have input from the farm, everything is working.
So what do you
But you see, when you have economic policies, the shock will come in. But it depends on how you also adjust. So the adjustment is what people don't want to say. And that is why we need to educate people. Did Aswaju spoil the schools? No, he's trying to fix them. Did he spoil the hospitals? No, he's trying to fix them. Did he spoil the roads? No. So when somebody is coming as a Mr. Fixer to fix the economy, I think Nigerians should come and support him. And let me tell you, we have an unwritten understanding that power devolves from the north to the south. Unless somebody is an enemy of Nigeria, you will not want to truncate that arrangement.
But as a clamor in the north, about that.
It will not happen. It will not happen.
Why won't it happen?
Because we'll drive it. It will not happen. We'll make people understand. The South will do its 8 years.
Because what the north is clamoring about, by the way, is that his policies are not favoring the north.
How?
Even though
Well, let me tell you something. I'm from the north. I'm a governor from the north.
Yeah, you are.
The policy of the president is working. I have so much money that I'm doing a lot. I'm fixing the roads, I'm building bridges, I'm doing 1,000 kilometers of road. And it has not stopped. If the policies were not working, I won't get this money. I have farms that are working.
Hold on.
Right now, no, hold on. I'm going to Brazil with the president. I'll meet him in Brazil. We're taking out of the 2.5 billion US dollars that Brazil is bringing, 1.2 is coming to Niger State for livestock.
All right.
So what are you talking about?
All right, we'll leave it there. Maybe your state.
Every state is
How about
benefiting.
the other
See,
states?
as the Director General, the time will come that I'll bring out the report card of every state.
All right.
And I will tell them
All right.
what we have given them, what they are doing.
That time will come and we'll hold you accountable to what you have said. Muhammed Bago, the governor of Niger State, declared himself the DG of President Bola Tinubu's 2027 campaign with Niger State
as the headquarters.
As the headquarters.
Yes.
Thank you for being on the program.
Thank you so much.